This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1416, How to Stop Loving Someone, 11 Ways to Move On, by Brooke Schwartz of ChoosingTherapy.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another weekend edition of Optimal Relationships Daily. I'm your host and narrator, Greg Audino, and this is the show that's all about helping you build better relationships in your life each and every day in about 10 minutes. Now, while we do question and answer episodes on Saturdays, each other day of the week is for narrating great content written by trusted professionals, and today we actually have a brand new contributor to the podcast. Brooke Schwartz of ChoosingTherapy.com has a really thorough and peer-reviewed article about how to stop loving someone. So, listen on for some really helpful tips as we begin this post and optimize your life. How to Stop Loving Someone, 11 Ways to Move On, by Brooke Schwartz of ChoosingTherapy.com. There are many reasons you may want to stop loving someone in your life. Perhaps they don't have your best interests at heart, or they've engaged in a behavior, such as abuse or infidelity, that can be harmful and prevent the relationship from carrying on in a healthy way. In some cases, you may not want to stop loving them, yet feel it's in your best interest, for example, if they've ended the relationship with you. Although it's a difficult task, figuring out how to stop loving someone can be an important and meaningful choice, one that involves gaining distance and connecting with other people and activities in your life that bring you joy. While it may feel impossible and certainly takes time to stop loving someone, it's absolutely possible to do just that. In fact, you may find that in no longer loving this person, you open yourself up to the possibility of loving others, and even yourself. Here are some practical tips to help you stop loving someone. Number 1, accept that you still love them. While it may seem counterintuitive, a helpful first step in ceasing to love someone is actually accepting that you love them in the first place. Research shows that avoiding your emotions can actually make it harder to cope and change your thinking patterns. This can, in turn, change the course of painful emotions like love. To accept your love for this person, carefully examine why you love them and how they make you feel without judging the fact that you still love them. Number 2, consider the relationship for what it was. Once you've accepted that you still love this person and what it is about them that you love, it can be helpful to explore other areas of the relationship, such as what needs of yours weren't met and what you wish were different. List these out factually. For example, this person avoided spending time with my family, and that's something I love doing. And keep the list somewhere that you can return to if you need a reminder of why you need to move on. Number 3, identify how loving them is out of line with your values. Considering the relationship for what it was often illuminates the ways in which loving this person is out of line with your values. To stop loving someone, identify your core values, like honesty or passion, and list out the ways that loving this person doesn't align with them. For example, loving someone who's a homebody doesn't align with my value of spontaneity. Because one of the functions of values is to influence how you choose to live your life, looking at how loving the person doesn't align with your values can help you move on from them. Number 4, act opposite to love. All emotions produce action urges, which are behaviors you're called to act on following an emotional experience. When you feel love towards someone, you may have the action urge of reaching out to them or looking through pictures of them. To change an emotion, identify a close opposite of the action urge. The opposite of reaching out to someone could be reaching out to a close friend or turning your phone off altogether. Research shows that acting opposite to an emotion can interrupt an emotional cycle and even reverse it. Keep in mind that acting opposite to strong urges that aren't in your best interest is something that needs to be practiced repeatedly and wholeheartedly in order to produce the desired effects. Number 5, remove reminders of them. Another way to stop loving someone is by removing reminders of them. This will help you to stop thinking about them. Consider getting rid of or moving out of view items such as goods you'd purchased together and photographs. By avoiding as many reminders of the person as you can, you're changing the way your brain experiences the love that you're trying to stop. Studies show that specific and unique areas of the brain become activated when viewing the face of someone you love romantically, and that this kind of activation is stronger than simply thinking about someone or hearing their voice. Number 6, get physical distance. It can also be helpful to set boundaries around engaging with the person you're trying to stop loving. While it may not be possible to avoid the person entirely, perhaps you live in the same small town, consider other ways to get distance, such as by going to a gym you know they don't belong to. Having space between you will help you avoid cues, such as seeing their face, that might prompt feelings of love, and will also help you adjust to and accept life without them. Number 7. Make contact hard. Along the lines of getting physical distance, it can also be helpful to increase technological distance by removing them from social media and considering deleting their phone number to help you stop loving them. While some may choose to or have to continue communicating with the person they're trying to stop loving, it can be helpful if you have the option to take these steps, as communicating with the person may encourage feelings of love or hopefulness that the relationship could work. Number 8. Prioritize other relationships. One way to feel less love towards someone is to direct that energy elsewhere. Feeling love and other emotions, such as happiness, excitement, and compassion, with other people gives you the opportunity to redirect yourself away from the person you're trying to stop loving, and sometimes even away from the emotion love altogether. Number 9. Take up a new hobby. Building mastery, for example by taking up a new hobby, can lessen the intensity of unwanted emotions by distracting from them and producing new emotions like joy and excitement. Look for hobbies that aren't too easy, but also aren't impossible to achieve. As a bonus, taking up a new and different hobby can help you build an identity separate from the person you're trying to stop loving. Number 10. Practice loving yourself. Another way to stop loving someone is to redirect that love toward yourself. Loving yourself can take many forms. Consider getting in the habit of asking yourself, what do I need? Listening for the answer, like a bath, to call a friend, etc., and giving that to yourself. You can also practice loving yourself by self-validating. A simple way to self-validate involves saying to yourself, it makes sense that I ... and inserting a feeling or desire such as feel lonely or want to feel loved. Loving yourself will help redirect you away from thoughts such as I'd be better with them, or what's wrong with me for still loving them, which make you more vulnerable to unwanted emotions, including love. Number 11. Don't give up on love. Giving up on love altogether may be tempting. However, doing so might increase the likelihood that you develop resentment for the person you're trying to stop loving. You may have thoughts such as, I can't believe they ruined love for me. These thoughts actually direct more attention and energy toward the person you're trying to stop loving, making it harder to let them go or find another person who is better able to meet your needs in a loving relationship. When to seek professional help. It may be helpful to speak with a therapist if you feel you need additional emotional support, you are repeatedly contacted by the person you're trying to stop loving and aren't sure what to do, you're experiencing symptoms of depression or post-traumatic stress, or if you're trying to stop loving someone who had been abusive toward you. Final thoughts on how to stop loving someone. Getting over someone you love can be difficult, but by employing certain strategies and focusing on new beginnings, it can certainly be done, and you may learn some valuable lessons along the way. You just listened to the post titled, How to Stop Loving Someone, 11 Ways to Move On, by Brooke Schwartz of ChoosingTherapy.com. And thanks so much to Brooke from ChoosingTherapy.com, which is a great resource for finding trusted therapists and the content they produce, and a site that we're very happy to be reading from. A lot of great information and tips provided in this article, obviously, and I also loved the last bit, touching upon when to seek professional help. Now, another tip to consider when getting over someone, and a tip that could be really well facilitated by a professional, is the contemplation of what the person you're still in love with represents to you. You see, in many cases, the initial attraction we develop towards people is rooted in an unmet need that we feel they provide, either consciously or subconsciously. For example, if we lost a father at a young age, we might be more attracted to older men who feel like father figures of some sort. Now, this is just one example, and of course, there's a lot more to how this works, but what we can do on our own is start thinking about ways in which we might not love the person at all, but instead have used them as pawns to fulfill a need, regardless of their personality or other attributes that we would want to actually build a relationship on. If we can identify this, we might find it easier to separate ourselves from feelings of love and look for healthier means of meeting those needs. All right, everybody. That's going to bring us to the end for today. Thank you so much for listening until the end, and thanks, of course, to choosingtherapy.com for letting us read their work. It's time to get going, but enjoy the remainder of your Sunday. Check out our weekly bonus episode, which is live now, and I'll see you there, where your optimal life awaits.